The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
It was a busy day one of free agency for the New York Jets. What comes next? We break down the latest reports and analyze the state of the team. Robby Sabo will join me in his weekly spot. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Wish you could have been a Jet, Fernando.
Let's see what happens.
What's your message to the Jet fans in New York?
Jets, Jets.
A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. Please, before we get started, hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you do so. We're live every day breaking down the New York Jets. We're presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. A lot to discuss following an eventful day of free agency for the Jets. Signings can happen at any time. So we are quickly going to have Twitter open and make sure that we're plugged into anything that could break at any given moment. With that, we say hello to our good friend Robby Sabo, who is the co-founder of JetX, JetsXFactor.com, and the host of the Underdog podcast with Jet Great Wayne Corbett. Robby, eventful day one. Give us the breakdown. How you feeling? Your thoughts on some of the moves the Jets made. Defensive heavy day one for Darren Muji and Aaron Glenn.
Defensive heavy, and the intent is clear. It's strength, physicality, point of attack, run defense. That's what Glenn is going for. 100%. That is written all over their moves. Demario Davis, we've talked about it since the Sherwood re-signing last year. They needed a heavier guy who could fill, who could spill, who could take on blocks, a la Bart Scott and Rex's day, next to Sherwood. And Demario Davis does that. He's 37. Haven't watched his tape yet, so, I mean, until I do that, won't feel comfortable. Same thing with Minkah, both of them. I like the moves, but I got to see more, make sure they didn't drop off. It's weird to me that Miami gave Minkah to the Jets. No? Is no one questioning that, by the way? Division rival, just a seventh rounder. Maybe it was the contract. I don't know, but
New regime as well. They seemingly don't care about any of that yet. They just got there.
Yeah. Like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong, inherently wrong. I'm kind of side-eyeing that one. Demario, I love it. Physicality, point of attack, run defense, and leadership, as I heard you say yesterday a bunch of times. And that's what it is. It's no more powder puff football. And that is, I think that's the main takeaway for me.
I think they signed professionals, to your point. And certainly the void in leadership was obvious if you watched the team this past year. And I think that was clearly a real priority for the Jets. So let's just get everyone caught up on where things stand. And we will, of course, get to the unfortunate news that not that AVT is leaving. That felt obvious. That felt like where the wind was blowing. But he's leaving to go sign with the damn Patriots. But to recap, here are all the moves the Jets have made since the free agent window got underway yesterday. They traded for Minkah Fitzpatrick, traded the 7th-round pick, which is a stroke of genius by the great Darren Muji, in my opinion. They got that 7th-round pick in the deal that acquired Jarvis Brownlee, where the Jets set the 6th-round pick. So they really flipped a 6th for Brownlee and now Minkah. They ink him to a 3-year, $40 million contract. I have yet to see what the guarantees are for the deal, but I'm fully expecting it to be no longer than a true 2-year commitment. They also, yesterday, they signed Demario Davis to a 2-year, $22 million contract. $17 million or $15 million or so is a guaranteed. So it's basically a quasi 1-year deal. The other notable moves that the New York Jets made as they went defensive heavy, they signed a string of edge rushers. Joseph Osai, 3 years, $36 million, comes over from the Bengals. Jets also inking Kingsley, and I'm working on the phonetic pronunciation of his name, Robby. The Jets signed Kingsley Enagbare to a 1-year, $10 million contract. Some limitations in his game, but he did have 6.5 sacks as a situational rusher his last 2 years in Green Bay, 17 quarterback hits, high effort guy, He fits the role. He's a professional. That's the scouting report on Kingsley. And when we got off the air last night, you knew another move would happen. The Jets signed Dane Belton from the New York Giants. He's a safety, big special teams player. I'd imagine he and Malachi Moore will compete for the opposite starting safety job next to Minka, and the Jets could certainly draft a safety that's in the competition there as well. And plus, one other note, the Jets re-signed Mr. Preseason, Andrew Beck, the fullback, back on a 1-year, $1.5 million deal. So those are all the moves to this point. We have some new reports on Geno Smith and the latest on the Jets' pursuit of a quarterback. But now let's talk about the Elijah Vera-Tucker news.
Yeah.
You hate to see this, Jet fans. AVT to the Patriots, 3-year deal, $42 million, worth up to $48 million. AVT, it felt like he was as good as gone. Brian Costello saying yesterday, AVT wanted a change of scenery. He wanted a fresh start. And when I heard that, I said, okay, but feels like the Giants are the team that's the front runner to sign him. That doesn't make much sense if you want a fresh start. You're still playing at MetLife, still playing in the same area. Well, it turns out it wasn't the Giants. It's the Pats who swoop in and sign Vera-Tucker. And let's be honest, the immediate reaction if you're a Jet fan is, well, here we go. Now I'm sure he'll never miss another game and be the Pro Bowl player we all know he's capable of being when he's healthy.
Yeah, at first, though, I was genuinely concerned about his well-being. I kept seeing Jet comments, he's dead to me. I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah, he'll turn out to be Hannah, the next great interior offensive lineman for the Pats. Watch. What was the guaranteed money again?
I'm going to look up the specifics in the guarantee.
It wasn't reported initially. Okay. Look, what can you do? It's in the Breece Hall discussion too. Is it truly a big deal about him tweeting? Yes and no. Like you're not gonna go crazy and try to put out a fire in terms of it because you're just so used to it at this point. But it's the disgruntled nature that comes with time, and the human psyche, subconscious. I'm not a psychiatrist, but it's tough to fend that off and guard against that, and it just happens. And let's be honest, if you were in AVT's situation too, you'd probably feel the same way. And that's not to say you don't love the Jets anymore. You got to be objective. So, yeah, the Pats, hell of a decision there, and that'll be something if he doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, and look, I would root for AVT if he went to almost any other team, but I mean, this was the worst possible thing he could have done.
Yeah.
He is not someone I will ever be able to root for again. And again, it's sad because Morgan Moses signed there last year, and he had a nice season for them. Look, it stinks. The reality is this guy missed basically 50% of his games as a Jet. We know what he can be when he's healthy. I don't fault the Jets for not wanting to give him that level of deal. Now, you let John Simpson walk as well. What's the plan now at guard? Because that needs to be figured out. The Jets can't just say, well, we have pick 16. We're just going to draft the Penn State guard and call it a day. You got to have a better plan than just that. I understand the value might match up and you take that player anyway, but there's some guards that are out there. If I'm the Jets, I'm seriously considering making a run at the player the Packers released yesterday. Elgton Jenkins has been a Pro Bowler. He's dealt with some injuries, but that's a guy that I would try and go after. Wyatt Teller is another name who's out there. He could play guard. I think the Jets can't just sit back and go, well, we'll just find someone in the draft and go from there. I think the Jets need to be aggressive and add a legit guard. And then, if the board plays a certain way, sure, you could take a guard at 16 if it makes sense. I prefer them to not do that. You could take someone at 33 or 44. I think there's value there if you wanted to do it. But the pivot can't be, well, we'll just wait for the draft now. They have to get someone who could play on the interior offensive line, this week in free agency.
Correct. You have to sign at least one, hopefully two, free agents to go into the draft because, again, it's about flexibility in the draft. You need to free agency. You can't go crazy, but at the same time, you have to look at the depth chart and try to fill it out as best as possible going into the draft. It's true for interior offensive line, obviously quarterback right now. Defense, I know a tricky thing is when Jets fans see these signings, they're saying, oh, we're set here, we're set here, we're set here. It looks good, first team. No. A guy like Will McDonald cannot be in base. He cannot. If he's the edge in base and playing all rush downs, your defense has no chance. His running defense destroys the integrity of the defense. It's that alarming. And I don't think people realize that to a great enough point. It's a Briggs too. Briggs excellent find. He did some nice things, but you want to kind of take him off if you can against running in run situations. Get him in there. I see McDonald and Briggs coming in sub package, whereas Asai and Harrison Phillips are more run balance. They'll be the first team on the depth chart. It works, especially up front with the front seven, but it works at O-line too. And right now they're just not missing a starter. They're missing a fourth interior offensive lineman.
Still a lot of work to be done. I want to go back to something that you posted. I told you I'd bring it up and we could break it down. You're a football savant, Mr. Sabo. So for those who are watching live right now and watching after the fact, I'm going to pull up what you posted yesterday based on what the Jets have done in free agency and what could be done now in the draft. Go through some of the projected base level defensive packages we could see. We'll start with the 3-4 underlook here from a Jet perspective, and you have Arvell Reese being picked second overall. So break down what 3-4 means and then the under term, and then we'll get to my favorite term of yours, the 3-4 eagle look that Glenn can now deploy.
Yeah, baby. Well, first of all, for those who don't want Reese, listen, if you're seeing red, punch a pillow. Find a pillow, punch it. But these moves, it just tells me more and more that he's going to take Reese. I don't know anything. Don't bet your mortgage money on that because I do not know anything. It's just the way he's going after run defense, physicality, point of attack, react and attack type front guys, D linemen, and now 3-4 outside linebackers, we can call them. We used to call them edge, no problem. That's Reese. He's the best edge run defender, perhaps run defender in the draft, and he could obviously pass rush too. So you get him, put him on the edge opposite Asai, and you have I clicked off. Here we go. And then you have Sweat, Onyemata, and Briggs. This is the underlook. So instead of Sweat being in the 0 tech, you can see him shaded to the strong side a little bit. Briggs fits more as a 5 tech over the tackle. Onyemata 3 on the weak side. You see the H there, kind of playing a fullback. I just wanted to put 2 to really declare the strength to the right. Defense is left. Asai is, if you look at these guys in terms of run defense, they're violent, they're physical, they get dirty. And I would put Asai on the strong side as the Sam, Reese as the Jack. There are different names. Some people go Plugger, see where it says Will for Sherwood. I think the West Coast calls that the Plugger, and then Reese the Will. But I've always gone this way, Jack and then Will. But this is just one of the looks. And the Eagle look, when you bring it up, no Briggs. So you have Phillips in there, 4-eye with Onyemata. This is more straight up. This is more the 3-4 that people are used to. Again, Asai and Reese on the edge. This is the goal. And I'd be shocked if the Jets are thinking any other way. You cannot have Will McDonald out there in base. You just can't. You got to pretend like he's a sub-package specialist.
So you think he's only going to be used on obvious rushing the passer situations?
That's the ideal target, I would believe. Yes.
I mean, again, they chose him over Jermaine, essentially. So you would hope you can get more than that from McDonald.
Listen, as I said already, and I don't know anything, but I wouldn't be shocked if they're playing around with potentially moving him because he doesn't. When people look at the 3-4 outside linebacker, they think it's more speed because they're standing up, dropping the coverage. And it's true, they drop into coverage more than 4-3 DNs, but it's not that different. In a lot of ways, you have to be more physical at the point of attack as a 3-4 outside linebacker because the way everyone up front is playing blocks, it's react and attack. You see guys in Frogger stances a lot in react and attack because you stand up, you react, you read the ear hole, you try to take up space for your second level to go sideline to sideline and then attack. The other way with Saleh, it's attack react, where you just go downhill like a bat out of the hell, try to get penetration. So attack first, you're really forward. So you're really like a sprinter, like Michael Johnson at the Olympics. Try to get penetration and then react. This is going to be the opposite. And that's the main difference between the principles. And 3-4 outside linebackers need to be react attack as opposed to the other way around. So what does that mean? You got to be more physical. You got to be more violent. You got to be able to take on blocks instead of penetrating and then shed the block. And that's Asai and Reese. That's not McDonald. Will McDonald, I don't care what the stats say. I know he He didn't grade well per PFF run defense, but I don't even care about that. He's just not that type of player. So, yeah, this is kind of what I think Glenn is thinking, to be honest.
Hit the like button if you guys are just tuning in. If you're here for Asmaniac Madness, don't worry. We have that coming up today on the show. We got quite the battle. We have the young versus the old, the youth versus the OG. Yesterday on the show, Kyle Clifton defeated Cash Money Mike. We also had a great back and forth between Rob, the Jet fan, and Alan. Rob emerged victorious. And this morning on the show, we have David T, the 4 seed, taking on Josh Woollever, the 13th seed. Voting for that will get underway shortly. A couple other things I want to get into with Sabo from a schematic standpoint. I also want to share this. Today on the show, in honor of Robby doing a weekly show with Wayne Corbett, let's give away a signed Wayne Corbett jersey for anyone who gifts a membership to enter the raffle or sends in a $10 super chat or higher. To qualify, we'll put you in. And, of course, when you enter for a daily show raffle prize, you're automatically qualified for the weekly show prizes. And this Friday on our show, we're giving away the following signed items: Joe Namath autographed helmet, Joe Klecko signed helmet, and a Garrett Wilson signed helmet. So daily prize today, Corbett autographed jersey, and then the weekly raffle prizes feature some signed helmets by Jet Greats. All right, here's the other thing I wanted to get your breakdown on. Let's get to the look for the Jets when they play the 3-3-5, which we can see a lot of here. A little 5-down projection now. Break this one down for us. Will McDonald is a part of this one.
Yes. So when you go sub package, and by the way, it's not set in stone, black and white. Like when you say the ideal goal is to not have McDonald in base on rush pass downs, use him where he's best, pass rushing. That's not to say he's not going to play some rush pass downs. Of course he has to. That's the way it goes. But optimally, this is nickel 3-3-5, 2-4 eyes, really a tight. If you ever hear tight front, it's 2-4 eyes and a 0. And you could play it in a number of different ways. Technically 3-3-5 high school, college level, it's a completely different thing than the 3-4 principled nickel. But I just wanted to put 3-3-5 up there for the fans to understand it. Again, it's solid enough against the run, but you have pass rushing. You have McDonald on the weak side. You have Briggs on the weak side. Sweat at the 0 eating space. Onyemata, and then Reese on the strong side, and then Demario Davis as the Mike. So I think I'm trying to project. I'm trying to get into Glenn's mind as best as possible. And this is, if it's going to be a 3-4 principled nickel, this is what it would look like. And
then one last one for you. Let's do the mint nickel look.
Oh yeah, basically the same kind of tight look where the 2-4 eyes 0, tight and mint are very close. Mint's just a variation. I think Saban, it's a Saban. Yeah, it's a Saban thing for sure. Variation off a tight. And right here, it's strong left from the defense. You see strong right from the offensive perspectives with the inline tight end. You always want to have that jack who's most versatile on the weak side, on the non-passing strength side. So the passing strength side will be to our right, where Brownlee would be right around over the tight end or over the slot, depending if there is one. That jack with Reese is that versatile guy who could pass rush, who could play the run. This is another, Glenn has used it in Detroit, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot of it.
Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Let's get to the Asmaniac Madness matchup during this morning's stream. We have the young versus the old, the OG against the youth, the 4 seed David T in action against the 13 seed young Josh. Josh unable to call in today, but he did submit this video for the Asmaniacs to watch ahead of the poll, which is about to open.
Asmaniacs, what's up after a big first day of free agency? First of all, much respect to the man I'm going at it with, David T. Wishing him nothing but the best. All good luck, all right? For those who don't know me, I'm Josh Woollever, 15-year-old diehard Jets fan who hasn't seen this team make the playoffs since I was 6 months old. And while I don't quite remember that, I can remember a couple of my glorious call-ins to the Jake Asman show where I give you some rants and some takes. Look, it's up to you who you want to vote for. If you want to give elder respect, go ahead and vote David T. If you want to usher in a new era, you can vote for me. Big 13-4 matchup. Best of luck, David. And Asmaniacs, see you later. As always, JETS, 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 Jets.
Well done, Josh. Well done, ladies and gentlemen.
What a soft backhanded compliment. Hey, if you wanna vote for the old decrepit dude, go for it. But you shouldn't do that. He's a politician, that kid. Holy cow.
Well, I'll tell you what, before I open up voting, I feel like I have to let David T respond. Got to be fair around here. David T is on the line.
I got my eye on you. Checkmate me, full screen, bitch. Fireball, whiskey time, David motherfucking T.
David.
Hey, hey, Jake. I think I went about it wrong because I had you guys change the time so I could call in, and in the meantime, I'm thinking, you know what? Josh is in school. The second show would have been better, but he just did a masterful performance on this video.
For real, yeah.
But anyway, I'm calling in, and there is method behind my madness. I'm asking everybody to vote for Josh.
Oh my God!
Because no, because
psychology, man, the psychology.
No, it's not psychology. Because like I said, there's reasoning behind it. He does know a lot more than myself about the Jets and everything, but being a young fella, giving him the experience, I had my 15 minutes of fame last year, and he's going to bring younger people into the Jake Asman show, and they'll become Asmaniacs, and the show will just keep on continuing to grow.
Ladies and gentlemen, I can't listen to this any longer. Typical David T kindness. The man is too nice. David, you're the man. Voting is underway.
Who's gonna be the best of the bunch? Asmaniac Madness. You get to pick the ones that make the show rock.
Incredible. Two
This
great
Hugfest.
contestants.
This is like NBA 2026 Hugfest. Like, come on. Can we get back to the 90s with the NBA and start swinging? Let's go.
Let's go. Voting is underway. Vote, and you determine who wins. Let me shout out Black Gypsy, who's the first to enter our signed Wayne Corbett jersey raffle on our shows today. He is in the raffle for one. All right, let's talk about the quarterback situation. The latest, according to Zach Rosenblatt of The Athletic. Here's the latest on the Geno Smith pursuit by the Jets.
The things I keep hearing over and over and over again is that the perfect world for the Jets, they get Geno Smith and they get Carson Wentz, and that's their quarterback room. Absolutely one of the two, but those two guys are who they want, and they're both still available. When something gets done, we'll see. It could happen today. I don't know. But that domino falling with Malik to Miami and not Arizona trying to convince Jimmy Garoppolo to go be their quarterback instead of the Rams.
So that was actually Connor Hughes. Zach said on his podcast, I heard him say it, that he thinks if Geno Smith could actually sign with the Jets, he would be a Jet right now. So all the winds are blowing towards Geno. I'm going to offer one last plea to the Jets. We are overthinking this if it's Geno Smith and Carson Wentz. Kirk Cousins is out there. Please tell me where he's signing that gives him a chance to start. Kirk recently said to Kay Adams he wants to go somewhere that gives him a scenario where he could play. Please tell me why Kirk Cousins is not being strongly considered. If the Jets don't want him, that's on them. If Kirk Cousins doesn't want to be a Jet, I can't blame the Jets for that. But we have no evidence of such a thing. They put it out there that they didn't want Kirk Cousins. Explain to me how Kirk Cousins wouldn't be the ideal bridge/mentor for what the Jets are trying to do this year and then next year. You sign him to a 2-year deal. He plays this year like McCown did, and then he's the mentor for Arch Manning or Dante Moore or whoever is the quarterback they take a year from now. Or if they do draft Ty Simpson, which is certainly a possibility, or whoever they end up taking this year because they will take a swing on someone, he's still the perfect mentor for that player as well. So, again, Geno Smith for the minimum, I understand, but I do not understand why Kirk Cousins is not strongly being considered by the Jets.
I mean, you got to think maybe there's no interest. Again, as you said, there's no evidence, but that's why, and I understand why so many of these teams do it. They try to get ahead of it, and act as though, hey, I'm breaking up with you. You're not breaking up with me. Stop that. Like, it's you, not me. So we were never interested. Sometimes I think it's foolhardy to do that because just a clear line of communication could do wonders in a lot of ways. Okay, Cousins not interested, no big deal. Everyone understands why. I'm not saying that's the case, but if I had my pick, I would go Cousins too, no doubt. And that's not to crap on Gino. It's just the situation. I think Cousins and Reich would mesh well. At the risk of tomatoes being thrown at computers and phones, I actually like the idea of Wentz more than other people. I'm not saying he's going to be a stud or he's the perfect quarterback, but I like that. I like him as number 2. I like him in the situation with Reich. So that I'm completely cool with. Gino, maybe it's just me being resigned to whoever they bring in. Whoever it is. You know what I mean? I don't know.
It's just tough to sit here and be that excited about anyone they sign, but at least Cousins, the way he finished the last 5 games, he's a professional. Like, I think that he has the best chance to replicate the Fitzpatrick 2015 year, the 2017 McCown year. Wentz is one of the backups. Not my preference, but okay, fine. Again, it's just tough to be excited about Gino. He threw 32 interceptions the last 2 years. I get it. This past year, the Raiders were a mess, but he wasn't that great as last year in Seattle either. There's a reason why they moved on from him. So I don't love the idea of Gino and Wentz as the room. I still would rather them call the Cardinals and see what it would take to get Brissett. You have 2 4th-round picks. I'd offer one of them. Cardinals yesterday signed Gardner Minshew. We'll see what happens with Jimmy G. If he were to go there, that apparently means Brissett would be available. But again, Kirk Cousins to me is the guy. There's no other spot for him to start in the league right now. Rodgers, I believe, is going to go back to Pittsburgh. You look at Minnesota, they're linked to Kyler. Atlanta already has made their move with Tua. Miami made their move with Malik Willis. I don't think Kirk's going to go to Arizona. I feel like it's the Jets for Kirk Cousins.
It could also be a matter of him playing the outrageous money game because he has other things to fall back on. It could be one of the situations where, you're going to toy around, you're going to play around, you're not going to come back to earth, then you're going to be the last domino to fall. Maybe he's doing that, whether it's intentional, whether it's not, I don't know. That could also be an option. But in terms of who I'd want to quarterback the Jets, I agree with you. Isn't there another report with Carr? The Jets not having interest in Carr? Who had that report?
Zach and Connor said that they've checked in and they've heard nothing about Carr and the Jets, which again, I don't know if I buy that either because Carr's been pretty out there.
Well, is it they explicitly have no interest or they just haven't heard anything? You know what I mean? That's a major difference.
They can't connect any dots to Carr to the Jets. And then I think it was either Connor or Zach who said from the Saints side, they haven't received any calls from any team on Carr.
That doesn't surprise me. I got to be honest, because again, what's he talking about a Super Bowl parade for when he didn't play last year? And he wasn't tearing it up beforehand. So, his last flash was, that Saints, first 6 to 8 weeks with Kubiak, even less. I think maybe it was like 5 or 6 weeks. It's a tough spot. It's a tough ass spot. Good Jets fans. It's a world where when you have a QB and he's not performing to the expectations, you want to kick him out the door, even though he plays every game and he's consistent. When you don't have a QB, it's 100 times worse because you don't know where to turn. It's outrageous. You kind of forget when you're always thinking the grass is greener. You always forget that other side is just brutal beyond belief.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Shout out to the great Common Country entering the raffle for one. Calls coming up. We'll start with some super chats here. Bino writes in, AVT is dead to me. He can go eat a bag of D's. Morning, Jacob and Robert. Again, if he went to any other team, I would root for him. He's on the Patriots. Enough said.
Yeah, dude. It's one of those. Again, I was worried. I'm just glad he's breathing still. In Jet Nation, where do I go to watch film? I saw that comment. I played and I'm a coach. So it just, don't think I'm studying real hard. Don't think that, please.
JK says the Jet thing to happen now is AVT plays like a first-team All-Pro and not missing a game for the next 3 years. Yeah, again, I mean, that's And then if the Jets re-signed him, people would be like, oh, yeah, of course he's going to get hurt, So it's the only way these stereotypes and narratives that are true until they're not is if the Jets win. That's the bottom line. Sam writes in, John Abraham worked in a 3-4. Will is more athletic than Abraham. No.
Yeah, he's more athletic than Abraham. Abraham was a bigger boy, if I'm not mistaken, than McDonald. Not by a crazy amount, but he was much more stout. And man, trying to get my brain back to those days. When did they switch to a 3-4? They actually switched under Herm, if I remember correctly. Ted Cottrell was Tampa 2, and then they went to Henderson. Was Henderson still 4-3? I don't remember. But yeah, Abraham switched back and forth. Sean Ellis switched back and forth, and he was great in both spots. Like Sean Ellis deserves a lot of credit for that. Started out 4-3, more wide, 4-3 DN, try to play in space as a bigger dude, 280. And then when Mangini asked him to play inside 3-4 DN, he held up. He switched, react, attack type, 2-gap it, hold that space, let the linebackers clean up. Abraham wasn't great in read and react. Let's say that. He was the more penetration type that McDonald is. So for that reason, and listen, I'm not saying McDonald's going to be traded. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised if they're open to the idea and maybe toying around with it in terms of fits. And the odds greatly have him be returning. I just think they're trying to work it out where he's the ultimate sub-package guy to collect those sacks and pressures on 3rd and long.
Shout out to Amy for the super chat. Which now available QB would you sign? Thanks. Again, I'm Cousins and Brissett. And then if Cousins is not an option, I guess I'd go Geno with Brissett. I don't want Wentz. I really want nothing to do with Wentz. I want 2 professionals, 2 guys that are good locker room guys, can run an offense, can complete a pass, can at least make the Jets watchable this season.
Yeah, I mean, would I take Brissett over Wentz as the QB too? Yes, 100%. I have no idea, honestly. Like I said, I'm kind of resigned to whoever it is at this point.
Really is depressing.
What can you say? It's the only thing that would shake it up is a Murray trade, Kyler trade.
To a trade, it'd be a signing. You just sign him.
Oh, that's right. It's a Murray signing or a trade. I was thinking trade with McKee or Bajent to a much lesser degree. Like you can't rely on those 2 to start. But there's something there in terms of slight potential in terms of perception. So I think that's the only thing that'll shake things up. Any other signing other than Kyler, maybe Cousins, Geno, Wentz. It is what it is.
Get ready for pick 16.
Jets, Jets.
Here comes Ty Simpson, baby, your guy.
The Simpsons.
He's your guy. You like him better than Mendoza, don't you?
If I had to pick between the 2 quarterbacks, I would take Simpson over Mendoza. But I want to avoid quarterback in this draft. I think the quarterback class is just rough. It's just so bad. I'd rather avoid. I'm not totally against who's the Asmaniac who really wants Simpson at 16.
Tank for Ty.
Who?
Tank for Ty.
But there was another one too.
There's a couple people. Rob from Glenhead wants Simpson at 16.
Okay. I'm not totally against him at 16. I would like to avoid it at all costs because I don't trust this quarterback class at all. From the top to the bottom.
Unk writes in with a super chat. Geno is so cheap and adequate and would be a decent mentor, plus no threat to whoever we draft as a QB. I get bad vibes with Geno. I don't know. Is he going to be able to handle the media? I know he's a lot older. He's matured a lot since then, but he's flipping the middle finger to fans in Vegas at the end of last year. I could just see the Jets being the butt of the joke again if they bring back Geno, who was a disaster here his first go around. Again, he might be the best of what we're discussing if Cousins and Carr aren't in play for whatever reason, or they can't get Brissett. But hey, it really is depressing to try and talk ourselves into Geno Smith in the year 2026.
Yeah, man. It's 2017, right? It was that the year Damari Davis returned to the Jets too, 2017.
Yeah,
crazy, man.
But the quarterback that year was McCown, not Geno.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It's the stopgap, unexciting option after a failure. 2016 failed spectacularly with Fitz. Geno was the genesis of 2015, obviously, with IK. what's he doing these days? The Bills captain. And it was very unexciting. That was 2017 at the draft. Daniel Jeremiah proclaimed, "This is the worst roster in the NFL, the Jets roster." And they signed McCown. They brought DeMario back. That was the Dancing Jets too, I believe, right? With Jamal and such.
The Thursday night win over the Bills and the Color Rush unis.
Yeah, the Color Rush. And what did they start? 3-2 or 2?
They were 3-2 that year. Yeah, they were 3-2.
Yeah.
And when McCown got hurt, they were 5-8. They finished 5-11, but they were competitive for most of that year.
They were competitive from the ones. So my only point, I'm dragging this out, but my only point is this year kind of mirrors that in a lot of ways. Yeah.
We'll get to your calls shortly here. Seth with a super chat. He's qualified for the raffle for 2. Let's go, Seth.
Jets, Jets.
When talking about a quarterback, should the Jets kick the tires on Will Levis since the New York Titans signed Trubisky? Yeah, I mean, I do Jamie and Sherwood for Will Levis, and there you go, Sala. Enjoy.
Yeah, so you would definitely pull the trigger on that, Sherwood. For
I'm more open to trying Will Levis for a day 3 pick, let's say. Now that they have Trubisky there to go with Cam Ward, than I am Carson Wentz. I know what Carson Wentz is. Will Levis probably stinks too, but at least there's the unknown.
What's Jamie and Sherwood's guaranteed money?
Too much.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that would be interesting. A potential Sherwood trade. $30 million. Yeah, Levis, interesting case. Big fella. I think Reich would like him. The decision making, the instincts. Can he ever find that? It's tough. We'll see. It's worth a shot. Let's put it that way. You're not going to take that shot in a year where you're expected to do anything. This is not that year.
Super chat from Chino is Ty Simpson starting by week 8. If they draft him, everyone's saying he's going to sit and learn. You know how this goes. He will be in a lot quicker than anyone wants him to be in. And you got to hope he has the Jackson Dart, boost, or he's ready. Like Dart clearly was ready. The plan was for him to sit most of the year. That changed quickly. Dable trying to save his job, but Dart was ready. If they draft Simpson, do I think he starts by week 8? Yeah, probably.
Jets.
Yeah, it's tough to argue otherwise. And
so they start 1-5, 2-6. Guess who's starting week 9? Ty Simpson.
Yeah. Could Glenn and Muji be playing this coy game where they're going Simpson this entire time and we don't know it? I doubt it, to be honest. I think it's going to be Reese. I don't think it's close in Glenn's eyes. Just the intent of what he's trying to do up front defensively. But it's interesting. What can you say? There's no firm way you could go with the quarterback topic. None. We're just kind of waiting on pins and needles, waiting for something to happen while we're numb.
No Jameith checks in. What's up, No Jameith? You're in the raffle for 1. Let's go.
Woo, woo, woo. Woo, 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 woo.
All right. Quick update on Asmaniac Madness voting before we open up the calls on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline. We got a great one going on. David T. and young Josh, the 4 seed. David T. with the early lead, 69-31. David T. with the lead.
Asmaniac Madness is underway. Make sure you vote to make your voice heard.
Oh, yeah. Nothing like it. All right. Let's open it up to your calls. Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline. And Doc Jet Fan starts it off this morning. Doc, I want to give you some credit. You were the first to tell me that Kaz made those comments about AVT on the New York Post pod. So I went and listened to it and posted it yesterday, and it gained some traction. So good job by you.
Thanks. No credit needed. I'd rather have the player. But anyway, good morning. Thanks for taking the call. I want to shift the discussion a little bit from free agency to the draft because the two are interrelated. You know, we were all disappointed when we couldn't draft Fernando Mendoza. You know, some of that disappointment was based on the narrative that if you have a quarterback on a rookie contract, you can pay the rest of the guys, and that's a clear path to the Super Bowl. What I haven't heard anybody talk about is what I think is the new economics in the NFL, and that is the percentage of the salary cap that wide receivers now make. You know, back in the days of Jerry Rice, wide receivers used to make 5, 6, 7% of the salary cap. Go back and look at it. And you look at the wide receivers now, like Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, those guys are making 13, 14% of the salary cap. And so my point is, and I wonder if you agree with it, you know, and I'll tell you where I'm going with it, is that the path to the Super Bowl is not just a quarterback that's cheap, but it's also to have a wide receiver that's relatively inexpensive. If you look at the last 3 Super Bowl winners, Najigma on Seattle was making $4 million a year. Devonta Smith, who was a co-top receiver with A.J. Brown, was making $8 million against the cap. And the year before that, it was Rashid Rice on Kansas City. He was making $1.2 million. I think it's part of the new economics. You're seeing wide receivers get paid a ton. Wide receivers rarely make it to the free agent market. And you see what Alex Pierce made yesterday, $30 million a year for, I think he's a good number 2 receiver, but $30 million on a $301 million cap, it's insane.
He got overpaid. He got overpaid. Linderbaum got overpaid, but desperate times called for desperate measures. And if I'm Kubiak's mind, he knows he overpaid with Linderbaum, but he's got to have that inside guy. He's got to have it. And to your point about receivers, you're 100% right. Back in the day, it was more tried and tested from the trenches out. The guys in the trenches impact and raise the ceiling of play for outer positions. These days, I think it's still inside out for the most part, but it's more muddled. It's more, there's more gray area. And with these rules where you can't be physical, the defensive coverages have adjusted to such complex measures, split field, hybrid, cover 6. There's so many different things, cover 7. Receivers have to be able to read routes, read coverages and route run more than ever. You have to read routes and find holes and stem the right way and attack blind spots. So I think receivers' importance has never been as important as it is right now.
100%. There's no question. And it leads me to my point. And my point with all that background stuff, Louis Riddick always talks about the draft. 2 things you want to accomplish: maximize value, minimize risk. In terms of maximizing value, you want to get players on a rookie contract that you would have to pay a ton of dough to, the $35 million to Justin Jefferson. So I really think it would behoove the Jets to at least consider taking one of their second-round picks, moving up and get, if the best receiver, somebody that they fall in love with, like a Lemon or Tate, or whoever that may be, that they move up to 7 or 8, grab the Kansas City pick, not Kansas City, excuse me, the Commanders pick, that don't pick again till I think the 4th round. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it's late. They don't have a pick after that 7th pick. And go get your franchise wide receivers, because at least the last 3 Super Bowls, that's been the path, having a top flight number 1 wide receiver on a rookie contract. It's just part of the new economics of the NFL. I haven't heard anybody else discuss it. The other reason to go get yourself a wide receiver, is the Mike Tannenbaum force multiplier effect. There's something to that with Garrett Wilson. You may unlock him to a stratosphere that you haven't seen.
Oh yeah, he needs a guy. Yeah,
and plus just for his own psyche, getting double covered or having the best corner on him all the time. Before you lose him, like you may have lost Brees, the way you may have lost AVT. I think it behooves them to, go get your receiver in the draft, whatever it takes. But anyway, thanks for taking the call. By the way, just an aside, I listened to the Boomer Esiason take on your show.
Yeah.
You are not just another fan. I don't know where else I can go.
What do you say?
And listen to the in-depth, like a Robby Sabo talk way over my head, about defensive schemes, or hear Connor Rogers break down the draft. This, first of all, all due respect to Boomer, who is a terrific quarterback, he's a fan like the rest of us, and you bring on guys that know what they're talking about. So to discount this show as just another podcast from a fan, that is completely wrong.
You hear him talk hockey? Oh my God!
Yeah.
The dude would not wear clothes for a week if it meant the Rangers would win a playoff series.
That is correct.
That's what kind of fan he is. What did he say? I didn't see this at all.
Right.
Doc, thank you for the call, man. I appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you for taking it.
So just to fill you in, Robby, and everyone else, I posted the clip. I want to defend Boomer. I don't think he was taking any shots whatsoever. I think he was trying to describe how fans have now created like podcasts and have a voice
in general.
and he was struggling to like reference what he was referring to, and he brought me up, and then Gio was like, well, Jake's not just some, like social media influencer, like he works for ESPN radio, so that was like the premise of their conversation, but Boomer just wasn't like articulating it well, what he meant, but he said very good things. He's like, Jake knows what he's talking about or whatnot, so I don't want to disparage Mr. Esiason, because I'm a fan of Boomer, and he was very kind. But that was basically the genesis of it. Boomer didn't understand how to describe like podcasters. He referred to it as like social media influencers.
Yeah.
So I'm like, apparently I'm a social media influencer. I just need more brand deals, baby.
Yeah,
all I got to do is
Boomer
wear your line of clothing, and all of a sudden you make sales.
Asman Burger coming. Boomer has entered that it's not fair to say, that next stage of life in terms of sports talk, where he's a former MVP. He knows football extremely well, knows hockey extremely well, but he's not completely dug into it. Let's put it that way.
Super chats cut the line. Appreciate everyone who's tuned in. We got over 760 people on YouTube watching live right now. Twitter lies about their numbers, so it says there's 324 people watching. It's not true. It's a lie. Anyone telling you that they have a lot of people watching from Twitter, they're lying to you. Elon rigged the system. Don't believe it. I'm just telling you, the only number that actually matters is your YouTube numbers. So I'm at 759 right now. Big shout out to everyone who's tuned in live. We truly appreciate it. Super chat from the great Peter Castro, who says, Simpson going to Arizona. I don't think he's going to Arizona at 3. Could the Cardinals look at it from this perspective? The Jets pick at 33. We're at 34. We need to jump back into the first round to get in front of them. If the Jets want Simpson, could I see that happening? I could. But if Simpson doesn't go to Pittsburgh at 21, I think he either falls altogether out of the first round or a team trades back in to get him late.
Yeah, I would agree. And the Rams are still, the rumors about the Rams and Simpson are still pretty hot, right?
No, those kind of died because the Rams are all in the
they?
win. Yeah, because they traded one of their first round picks, and they're not
that's right. Yes, yeah, I'm 10 steps behind in terms of actual news. It'll be interesting. Yeah. Simpson will be boom or bust. Whether he might go earlier than we expect, or he'll just fall out and be Jackson Dart. And
or Tyler Shuck going around too.
Yeah, or Tyler Shuck. I loved Shuck last year. And Dart, I liked him. I wasn't completely in on him. I would love to be in the room when Muji and his guys are talking about the quarterbacks in this draft. I would pay anything to hear that, because it's just so fascinating to me, because I think the class is just not that great. And I saw a comment. Someone wanted me to elaborate why I like Simpson more than Mendoza. It's not a big gap. Simpson, there's so much more evidence in terms of Simpson reading, scanning the entire field. I like his feet. His feet remind me of Peyton Manning, where it's choppy, but it's fluid, if that makes sense. And Mendoza, you love the one-on-one placement in terms of fades and back shoulders, but RPO, rush heavy. There's so few opportunities to really evaluate Mendoza on the college tape as opposed to Simpson. So I think that's where it starts. Everyone kills Reese for projection, that label, projection, pass rusher. But Mendoza is sort of a projection in a big way, more so than Simpson, because of that offense, because of that coaching, really rushing the ball a lot, really RPO, in and out, no longer developing plays, as opposed to Simpson, where he was forced into longer developing plays with no rush game. And by the way, the main goal I have, forget the quarterbacks, is to get Jets fans to start calling the position edge defender, not edge rusher. We gotta start edge defender, my people, not edge rusher. McDonald is an edge rusher. I'll be cool with that.
Shout out to Bino. Appreciate your super chats, Bino. Jacob, you've built an unrivaled Jet fan ecosystem on here. Well, the one thing about Jet fans is we're all in this together, baby. And one day, if the Jets ever win, God, will we be insufferable. Oh, I can't wait.
It would be bad. And the worst part is Jets fans would be insufferable and know they're being insufferable.
Yeah.
Like usually the awareness isn't there for, insufferable douches, but that would be warranted. Like everyone should give a pass in that scenario.
Let me shout out the great Doc Jet fan who had an awesome call earlier. He has gifted a 5-spot, our first 5-spot of the show. He is in our Wayne Chrebet signed jersey raffle for 5.
And here we go. Let's go. Let's go.
The Doc making Beto, Shane Nitro, Amanda Evans, Alan Gomez, and DT, all channel members this morning on our program. Robby Sabo with us for a little while longer. Let's get to this super chat from Julio. Thoughts on a late round pick for Spencer Rattler? I know Gary 3D Boxing would love this. I'm not in on Rattler. I think I prefer Levis to Rattler if we're going to do the day 3, quarterback trade.
Yeah. Rattler's interesting. I got to start watching. It's not worth the time. You can't go through all the tape on these guys because there's so many of them. But I think I agree with you. And sorry, Gary. It's not like I hate Rattler. I just think there's too much evidence to suggest he could actually lead an offense competently. Because that same situation he had, I don't think it was awful. It wasn't great. It wasn't ideal, but it wasn't terribly awful. And he just couldn't get anything done. And he was given a lot of chances. Well
said. You want to hear the Boomer and Gio clip real quick? And then we'll get to a couple calls. All right, here you go.
A lot of this stuff is conjecture and speculation at this point.
I love it.
If you watch all the different influencers out there covering their respective teams, the thought that goes into the conversations that a lot of these guys and women both have is really remarkable. I can't wait to see what happens in the draft just to see who really was the most accurate when it comes to placing players on teams in the draft. But I'll tell you what, like I go back to these social media influencers.
Yeah, you bring them up. Who are you talking about?
I'm just talking about people who cover their respective teams.
Like
just because they're fans, they're hardcore fans. I don't know the names, and there's a million of them. It's really remarkable the amount of in-depth information that they go into on all these teams. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, it's been building over the last 4 or 5 years, and I'm giving guys credit. Some of them talk about what they hope happens in the draft. When you look at all these different Jet influencers on social media, well, we hope they go with this guy, or we hope they go with that guy, or
I gotta ask you again,
who
are you talking about?
I'll show you a bunch of them. They're all over the place.
Okay.
I guess there are a lot of them.
You don't have one name?
Like, here's one. See?
Yeah, I mean, that guy's Jake Asman. He works at ESPN Radio. He's been around forever. He was an intern here.
Yeah, I know Jake, and I like Jake. Yeah. Jake's good. And he's all up into the Jets and good. He has got a lot of good opinions.
Yeah, Jake Asman. We know Jake Asman.
Yeah, I know that.
I could text him right now.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's
telling me he's got huge influence on what the Jets are doing?
All right, I'm sorry I used the word influence. I'm sorry about that.
He's an influencer?
Holy crap. You just got to back up and pump the brakes for 5 seconds.
I'm just curious
trying to give a guy
this is coming from.
I'm trying to give a guy his compliments.
I like him. I gave him a compliment.
No, you didn't. You just shot him down.
Said I like
shot him down.
No, I didn't.
So Jake has like a Jets YouTube show that he does.
Right, exactly.
Which you could find on youtube.com.
I mean, you're amazing. Let's say Jake and whoever he works with. I have no idea. I have no idea who the guy is.
Yeah.
All right. There are, I don't know, for the 32 teams, at least a dozen that all do the same thing for those specific teams. That's all. That's all I'm talking about. I mean, the absolute craziness surrounding the draft and free agency is tremendous. I just listen, and I find it to be very interesting, well thought out.
Okay.
That's what a fan should be. A fan should be passionate.
It's just you keep bringing these social media influencers. Are they influencers or are they guys doing podcasts that are covering the team?
It's both. What I'm saying that the NFL fan, especially around draft time, is completely engaged.
Oh, yeah, it's been like that forever.
I know that, but now they have a platform to actually put their viewpoints out, just like we have our platform to put our viewpoints out.
I feel like this has been going on for a long time.
I feel like it's more and more and more. It's becoming more prevalent than ever before.
All right.
That's all.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm not looking at guys with just
years
thumbs.
late on this.
No.
It sounds like you're 10 years late on fans going on social media and talking about their teams.
No.
It feels like a decade too late for you to notice this.
Nope. You are a pain in the ass.
So that's what they said for context.
Yeah, it's funny, man. It's
social media influencer, man.
Did you hear
that?
that?
An underwear model now. I haven't told anyone yet. I signed a deal with Skims.
The gingers will go nuts for that. Holy cow! Did you hear that car swerving? That was Boomer after Gio challenged him. But actually, I understand what Boomer's trying to say. it's overwhelming at times.
He's just not articulating podcasters and people that post content. Like what Boomer
Social
saw
media
was a short from the show. I have a couple freelance social guys who do a great job taking clips from your appearance and different stuff we do on the show, and we post that on YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, TikTok. We post it on X, and that's what Boomer was referencing. I don't know if he realizes that a lot of those shorts you see are from podcasts that are longer form.
Yeah, and if you try to get an idea of that category he's talking about on social media, forget about it. It'll never happen. And that's usually where the misinformation comes from, where you're just gauging it based on social media. You have to actually go to the home of the platform, and it's a major key.
Let's do some calls, shall we? Let's say hello on the Gustbuster Umbrella Hotline to the number 1 overall seed in Asmaniac Madness.
I just want to open by saying Doc is just a phenomenal caller. Thoughtful, analytical. It's really a breath of fresh air. To hear someone who's that, articulate. He's just great. I'm a fan.
Yeah, he's a great call. I wish he made the tournament. It was tough. He only started calling in like within the last month or so.
That was gonna be my question. Yeah.
So, and I've been in and out of the show, but
how dare you?
I know, right? Duty calls, Robby. Will McDonald. We think that they're trying to get him back to more of some of the alignments he was used in college, maybe. Do you think?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Well,
okay.
In Iowa State, it's been a while. What is it? 3 years now?
Yeah.
He played some edge, but he played a lot of 4-eye in that.
That's what I was going to say. 4-eye.
In the 3-3-5. Yeah, that's great for the Big 12. You're going to be pounded into the grass at the NFL level if you try to put McDonald at the 4-eye.
Yeah.
Now,
the guys are just too big, is what you're saying.
Yes, and I'm just talking about balance downs. If it's a passing down, you can put him anywhere you want. You could stand him up and mug the A gap if you want. You know what I mean? But balance downs, playing the 4-eye. No, and that's the other thing. David Bailey, when you watch David Bailey's tape, he plays a lot of 4-eye within Texas Tech. Texas Tech's 3-3-5, sometimes even standing. And that's an interior position. It's not really edge. He has an edge outside of him, that outside linebacker, like you saw the graphic 3-3-5. So when I look at Bailey, I see a lot of McDonald. They're not strong at the point of attack. They try to elude. They think of run defense like they're pass rushing. They use their hands, try to go around. And that is, if you want to have the worst run defense in the league, draft Bailey and play him with McDonald in balance downs.
And I think we've seen that's not what the Jets are trying to do because they're bringing in these guys.
In my humble opinion, yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. The only reason I said that is because I think there's a market attempt here to bring in guys that will allow them to be multiple too.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So, I'm wondering whether, they have something in mind for McDonald or whether their trade is in the offing as we get closer to the draft.
I think it's worth considering. And here's the other thing that is really worth considering. Glenn, does he have a habit of going too far when he has something in mind? In other words, last year, he got rid of Rodgers. He went with Fields, and it was all about that zone rushing offense. It was, we don't need a second receiver, run heavy. We're going to pound it. We're going to be a run team. That's our identity. Run, run, run. Did he go too far there? This year, it's beef. It's physicality. It's point of attack, react and attack. Onyemata is another 300-pound interior lineman. Like all of their 3 interior linemen in 3-4, all over 300 pounds. Is he going too far that way now? Because the run D was so bad last year. I wouldn't say he is yet, We'll see. He's still got his moves to make, but I think that's the other thing to keep in mind.
I thought I saw Onyemata listed at 310, and I immediately thought, well, that's a one tech if they're going to play the 4-3.
He has experience playing the 3, so I think that's where, because they got Sweat, but if Sweat goes off the field, they could use Phillips there. I think they could use Onyemata there. But however you shake it down between Phillips, Onyemata, Sweat, and who am I missing? Briggs.
Mozzie.
And Briggs, they're all 310 pounds. That's some big. They need some agile interior guys. Where are they going to get it from? Is the question.
Yeah. So this is going to take us out of the running for the Lee Hunters of the world. You would think, right?
Never know. I would say so, but is Glenn going too far the other way?
We said that last year, though, with corners. Oh, they won't draft the corner, and then they had such a high grade on Azaria Thomas, they took him in the 3rd round. So sometimes they just might do BPA anyway.
Sure.
Yeah, at that point, someone's going to take Thomas, right? Like, yeah. I'm glad you chimed in, Jake. You were getting a little silent over there. I was getting worried about you.
I was just listening to greatness. Robby, Sabo, Kyle Clifton. What's better than that on a Tuesday here?
Anytime the number 1 overall seed jumps on, ears.
I did 6 hours of streaming yesterday, Robby. It's nice to sit back a little bit.
Yes, I get it.
How dare Boomer say what he said? Jeez.
I'm an influencer, baby.
So one last question is, what non-quarterback position are we looking for over the next 2 or 3 days? For that is a must-have.
Interior.
Yeah,
interior line. Offense.
Whether it's a center or a guard, is that fair to say?
I think you prefer position flexibility, but you could put Tippmann back at center and sign a good guard if the guy can't play. Yeah,
I mean, for me, Tippmann has proven empirically that his best position is at right guard, right?
So far. And here's the other thing. What kind of offense is Wright going to run? Like generally speaking, people label him as a more zone rushing type play caller, but he's run man and gap stuff in the past. I think he's more balanced than people think. So it all depends on that. Elton Jenkins, I don't know how to say his first name. Elton Jenkins, I think he's more of a man gap type guy, but I'm not positive. I think center or guard, I think it's the best guy. Try to grab the best guy and then make it work. All
right. I appreciate your time as ever, gentlemen. I'll talk to you soon.
Kyle, excellent call. Appreciate you. Let me shout out Anthony Logerato. Robby, Anthony won a signed Chad Pennington helmet in our raffle on Friday. Anthony, I sent it out, so you should have it. Could be by today or tomorrow. This is for you.
The Jet fans getting a little crazy.
The following 5 people are now channel members: Papa Jet, Victor Santiago, Valerie Consalvo, Andrew Calderon, AR631 Gaming. Thank you very much, Anthony. Robby, I know you're on a time crunch, but do you have time for one more call?
Yeah. We got a few minutes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there's a guy on the line who's standing 9 toes tall. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
Well, I need to find Matt O'Leary. He's supposed to come on my show. I want his butt on a stick. Hello, Jake and Robby Sabo.
What's
up,
up,
hey, guys? So you got to get rid of that. Me and Matt are pretty cool now. So I'm happy that the Jets signed, didn't they sign 4 free agents on defense?
They did. They loaded up on.
Am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
They D'd up, as they say.
Yeah, they got the guy from Miami, right?
They made a trade. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Robby,
trade.
When have you ever?
And then
could you ever envision a day when the Dolphins and Jets are making a trade? How about that, Bobby?
No, that gets me crazy. But the Jets, Miami always ends up with the Jets throwaway quarterbacks anyway. They picked up Wilson. They picked up White. They picked up what other quarterbacks? Yeah. Miami
week 17 in the swamps of Jersey in 2008 was as brutal as it gets.
Yeah, I agree. So my toe is great. I'm going to the the wound clinic today. Then tomorrow I get wrapped up by the Bayetta nurse, so that's good. And then she'll come like on Friday, because usually on Fridays it goes there, but they moved me to Tuesday today. So
Hey, what are your
I'm
thoughts
heading
on
soon.
you,
Michael's picking me up.
Bobby? Are you paying homage to David T because he's in action right now in Asmaniac Madness? Is that why you called in with the phone so
Yes,
close to your
who
face?
is the other guy? I never heard of the other guy.
Yeah,
Who's
it's
the
young
other guy?
Josh.
David
You know
T's gonna
Josh.
crush him.
He's going to be the mayor of New York one day.
Oh well, no, David T got it all over. He'll mop the floor with Josh. I'm sorry. I like Josh. No, Josh, you gotta wait till next year, kid.
Yeah, us
Bobby, you
old
have a
guys
hater.
got to stick together.
You have a hater in the chat, Bob.
What?
Common Country says no one wants to hear about your gross toes.
Common Country, I don't want to hear from you either. So congratulations for typing. That's all you can do. You should call in,
Yeah, show your
Mr.
face.
Keyboard Warrior. That's it.
Show your face, Common Country.
Yeah,
you
show your
keyboard
face.
warrior.
Yeah. I'm sorry I didn't have a show yesterday. I had a migraine headache yesterday. So, but I knew you did 2 shows, and Addie did a show last night too. So
We're working
yeah.
hard this week. Free
I'm
agency
happy
week.
with the. I know this is your best week. You said, right? I think.
It's a busy week.
Can you give me one? I'm gonna ask you a question. I hope you don't get mad. What about the Giants? Did they get anybody in free agent yet? Do you know?
Yeah, they signed Tremaine Edmonds. They signed Isaiah Likely. They've been busy.
I like that. I like that signing, the Likely.
Oh,
Yeah.
Isaiah Likely. I like the guy from the Ravens, right?
Yeah. Now, Bob, I have to break some news to you, though.
Okay,
You ready?
What?
This is a Jet show.
Well, you know I have my own YouTube show. If I'm awake, I'm going live. Ballistic has a show. Bobby.
I can't be listening to any Giants talk right now. We got mediocre quarterbacks to debate.
Yes, that's right. Good old Bobby. Hope he's doing
Love the
well. Did he
David
win
T
his
tribute.
first round matchup?
He hasn't had it yet. It will be towards the end. Bobby's a 2 seed, so he's got some time before then.
What kind of Satan? Is it him versus Mikey in the first round?
It is.
Oh, what kind of Satan did that? Who was
It's
that?
actually the last matchup of the round of 64, the Midnight Bros.
Was that your idea, or are you going to appropriately blame it on someone else? Who
No,
won
it's
the
the
count?
committee. I listen in, but I don't give. I give like some feedback. I'm like, hey, I think it'd be great to get this person in, but you know, they make all the decisions because I just want to be unbiased.
I get it. You got to do the hands up thing. I understand.
That's right.
Yep.
If it was up to me, everyone would win Asmaniac Madness because I love everyone who tunes into the show.
Evil doers, you.
Mr. Sabo, I appreciate you hopping on, man. Good stuff with the breakdowns over at JetX. I got blew it on this afternoon. We'll do some film on some of the guys the Jets signed, and who knows what other news could break today.
Yes, sir. Breaking news. Maybe I'll hop on again this week. We'll see.
Love it. Robby Sabo in his weekly spot. Check out JetX, jetxfactor.com. Download the app. That's how I consume the content on the website. It's great. The app is sleek, easy to use. Before we get to more of your calls, I referenced this cut from Zach Rosenblatt on his podcast earlier, and I played something from Connor Hughes, which essentially said the same thing, but this is more details on the Jets and Geno Smith, who feels like the favorite at this point to be one of the quarterbacks the Jets sign.
The latest conversations I've had is that it would be a surprise at this point if Geno Smith is not signing with the Jets, probably as soon as like Wednesday at 4:01 p.m.
Like it would be done if it was actually allowed.
Yeah, like so right now they can't even technically talk to him because there's this weird rule where like the Falcons are able to talk to Tua because the Dolphins announced they were releasing Tua, whereas the Cardinals haven't announced anything with Kyler and the Raiders haven't announced anything with Geno, even though we know both of those things are happening. So they can't technically do anything until Wednesday when the new league year starts, but you know, it'll be pretty remarkable when all the signings that happen at 4:01 happen, or specifically like this one. Like,
there's phone calls happen.
I mean, I guess that's more today, I guess, because you're agreeing then this week. But yeah, it still sounds like Kyler probably to Minnesota, and like I just said, it would be surprising at this point if Geno Smith is not the next Jets quarterback. And from everything I was told, the Jets wanted to resolve their QB1 before they moved on to QB2. So if you thought they were going to sign Carson Wentz today or trade for Andy Dalton or whatever it is, like they wanted to make sure they figured out QB1 first, and then okay, who's a good fit as the QB2 behind him. And I still think Carson Wentz is probably the most likely as of right now, but Andy Dalton, the Panthers just signed Kenny Pickett, so they don't really have any use for Andy Dalton there anymore. So I'm curious if they cut him, and if they do, then he becomes interesting. But as of now, Geno Smith would be my, pretty confident prediction as the next Jets quarterback, and that'll be another coming home video coming your way as soon as Wednesday afternoon, I would say.
The return of Geno. Wonderful. More calls right now. Let's say hello on the Gusbuster hotline to Dallas Jets fan. Hello, Dallas.
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
What's up, Dallas Jets fan? I'm assuming you're based in Dallas.
Yeah, I am. Just want to chime in about, thank you. I want to chime in about Minkah. I think this is a huge signing, obviously. I watched Minkah. He went to my high school, St. Peter's Prep, and he led our high school team to state championship in New Jersey. Definitely awesome player, person. And he also, about Alabama. I mean, he turned heads in his freshman year. He won a natty there as best offensive player. Obviously 5 Pro Bowls. I think this is a huge upgrade in the safety position. He's come home basically. He won a high school state championship in the same at MetLife where he's going to be playing. So I'm really excited for him, and happy for his family too. I'm sure they're all excited, and Jets fans, get ready, because this guy, even though he's not the same Pro Bowl player as he once was, he's still definitely an upgrade over anybody we've had since Jamal, right?
Yeah, him or Marcus May for sure. I mean, he's the best safety they've had in years, and he's still very good. He wasn't asked to play in the back end of the defense as much last year. I referenced the stat yesterday, but I couldn't find the exact specifics. This is from Next Gen. So last year, he moved from a deep safety role into playing much closer to the line of scrimmage, often as a nickel or in the box as a box safety. His average depth from the line of scrimmage at the time of snap dropped from 12.6 yards to 6.8. So naturally, if you're playing closer to the line of scrimmage, there's less opportunities to have interceptions, which is why he only had one last season, which I'll make the joke everyone's already made, more than the Jets had the entire year. So I'm with you, Dallas Jet fan. I think it's an outstanding move, and they got him for a 7th round pick.
Don't be surprised if he gets a first interception the next year. I'm gonna go probably 3 or more for the year. If there was a bet, I would say 3 or more. He's a ball hawk. I've known him since high school. He is a ball hawk. You've seen him with Steelers. Thanks. Let's go Jets.
Now, Dallas Jet fan, have you called before? You look like a first-time caller.
I called many years ago, but
well, can you call again and not take years in between? I mean, you got a podcasting setup there. This is the best looking sound and camera quality we've had in forever. I mean, you got a professional mic there.
Dude, when I see you live, I have some questions for you, because I'm doing a live show. I'm an actor, and I help actors and mindset and all that kind of stuff. And I got some technical questions and quite a bit business questions to ask you in person. But when's the next meetup, by the way?
I'm glad you asked. Our next meetup will be at the NFL draft. We're hosting a huge draft party in Pittsburgh, free for any Jet fan who wants to make the trip.
Oh, dude, I miss the Primantis, man. I love those.
We'll be at McFadden's all day on Thursday of night 1. Jet fans are going to be there all weekend. It's going to be a blast.
All right, I got to go then. All right, thanks a lot.
Great call, Dallas Jet fan. Call again soon. Love it. What a great setup. I didn't recognize him. He said he's called before, but it was years ago. So Dallas Jet fan, calling again soon. Appreciate your support. Hit the like button if you guys are just tuning in. We're going to raffle away at the end of our second stream today this signed Wayne Chrebet jersey, but I know a lot of you can only maybe watch one of the live shows depending on your work or school schedule. Life gets in the way. So if you enter now, you'll be in this afternoon, and then you're, of course, in the weekly raffle, which is Friday. We're going to give away a signed Garrett Wilson helmet, signed Klecko helmet, and a signed Joe Namath helmet as our top prizes in the raffle. Peg and Artie checking in. Glad to see Bobby Midnight's recovering. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Peg, Artie, you guys are the greatest. Thank you very much for your support. Phil D'Angelo became a channel member. He is in the Asmaniac raffle for one. Hell yeah. Thank you very much, Phil. Appreciate you. More of your calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a 42-year-old man on the line.
When you got to fart, you got to fart.
You just ripped ass. You're no better than Gorman.
At least I'm 10 times sexier than Gorman. That's a guaranteed goddamn team.
Beast. Oh, Beastie Boy. Beast. Beast, you there?
I'm on the toilet.
Oh, no.
On the toilet.
Did you break it again? Did you break it?
Oh, shit.
Beast.
No, I'm taking a rental.
You're taking a Renzel. Oh, man. That must be a real powerful one.
I'm taking a rental.
Okay, I'll come back to you. Thank you for the time.
You can kiss my big, big ass. Woo!
All right, on that note, let's get to more of your calls, shall we? Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline's open. Cash Money Mike's next. Hello, Mike.
Hey, Jake, how you doing?
What's up, Mike?
Yeah, by the way, I agree with KC. I thought Doc Jet was awesome caller. Hopefully he calls in again more often. And I like the fact that, Kyle Clifton was at Beast Attic. No one really noticed that, but he was in Beast Attic.
He was, yep.
So good job there, KC. Appreciate it. I just want to say a couple of things really quickly. First of all, I want to say thank you very much for all the Asmaniacs that voted for me. The 160 plus votes that I received. I really appreciate it. So thank you very much for voting for me. Unfortunately, I lost completely annihilated by Casey, which is understandable. Casey is a GOAT, and I appreciate all his intakes as well. Second of all, I also want to mention, I don't like the Geno Smith take, and it seems like it's going to be, unfortunately, a reunion with us. But I really think that, Carson Wentz and maybe Trubisky will probably be a better fit. And hopefully Trubisky could win out on Carson Wentz, knowing that he was a second pick overall at one particular time. And hopefully he can have like a rejuvenating career, kind of like Sam Darnold did. But ultimately, I think we should definitely draft somebody either in the second round if Ty Simpson is there. But ultimately, I do like what Muji did yesterday, especially with the Fitz, trade and the signing. The other thing I want to know is, so Kirk Cousins, right? Even though he's not available just yet, supposedly I heard that he's going to wait it out until someone gets hurt during camp to get the maximum pay. So he's gonna be able to select his own team, but by also getting the maximum pay. Have you heard anything in regards to that, where he's not going to select the team right away and he's just going to wait it out?
Yeah, he could. Again, if I'm the Jets and I'm considering Geno and Wentz, I would strongly pursue Cousins over those guys, 100%.
Yeah, I just feel like that. He might just kind of diss the Jets like he did a couple years ago when he went to Minnesota. So I don't think he's going to fit in the Jets' plans as far as that's concerned. And Woody Johnson probably will feel that way as well. That's just my take. Again, Jake, you are the man. This is just definitely the best Jet content. But I also want to say, does Gio really have your phone number? He can text you anytime.
Does Gio have my phone number? He does have my phone number, yes.
Okay.
And I actually texted him that morning, that clip aired.
Fair enough. So I just want to say, go Jets, Jets, Jets. Jake, you're the man. Appreciate all the content you put out there, and appreciate you. All right.
Well, thank you very much, Cash Money Mike. I love that you've been calling in, man. Keep it coming.
I'm gonna keep coming.
Cash Money Mike, baby, checking in. Love that. More of your calls, ladies and gentlemen. I have some exciting news. This man is fresh off the John, and he survived. Hit it.
I got gas right now. Geno Smith? Really? Are you blind? That guy can't fly, can't fight, can't crow, can't run, can't do jack shit. The guy's a laugh. He's a comedy act. Come on. Circus clowns at Ringling Brothers does a better job than this Goomba. And that's a guarantee. I'll bet you $50 that it is true. And it's proof in the hands. All you got to do is read. It's like a book. Read a book more often. And I was just done watching a good Western movie today called The Outlaw Josie Wales. A good cowboy movie.
Everything okay with your stomach?
It's okay. Just I had to take a Renzel.
That happens to the best of us. I've been there.
Hey, it's gay. After 10 pounds, you feel 10 pounds light. Just make sure you flush the toilet when you go.
Did you do that?
Always. I always flush. Oh, and remember, don't leave your turds in the toilet when you're there, because then that's a bad sign, bad omen. Are you? So what are you doing today on this building?
Mama Beast is checking in the attic. This is Beast Breaker.
Nah, she.
Tell her I say hello.
Always. And plus,
okay.
Right now. So what the? Why are we getting this Geno Smith guy? The guy's no good.
Well, they haven't gotten him yet.
We don't need him. I don't want him.
Who do you want?
Pull up the quarterback list. I'll give you a couple lists. Pull up the car. You got the quarterback list ready?
Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr, Jacoby Brissett in a trade, Carson Wentz.
Brissett. Okay. What has Brissett got that I want that he can bring to the table? What can he bring to the table?
He can complete the forward pass. That's
good. That's a sign. That's a good sign. Derek Carr is okay. Sure he's had a couple bang ups here and there, but I don't quite see where this Geno Smith is gonna fit. No, not a chance. Kirk Cousins, love to get him, but unfortunately, I don't know. That's gonna be high money right there you're looking at, and we don't got the kind of money we don't have. There's no saying, you can't always get what you want. But in life, you got to get what you need. Take that as a quote. Take it as a quote. And we will be fine this season. We'll be just fine. As long as we got Frank Wright. And you know what I mean? I don't like the Bills. I hated the Bills for a long time. Same with the Shitriots. Let's just hope we get something for the best. Just think of it. What does everybody...
Well said, Beast. Glad everything going well. Airjet is next. He claims to have some breaking news involving Geno. Hello, Airjet.
What's up, Jake? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Have you called before?
First time.
Okay, welcome aboard. Yes,
Can you hear
sir.
me? Okay, so I have breaking news about Geno Smith, and I could confirm this, that he will be the next Jets QB.
Okay, and why should we believe you if you're just a random caller on a Jet talk show?
Because let me explain. I have a couple of points. First, I work for a medical company, and I am located in Morristown right now. And I got a tip from one of the doctors that the players that go there, where I was just at, he saw Aaron Rodgers came in the same building to get his physical done. And I just saw Geno Smith. I know an NFL player when I see one. That was Geno Smith coming out of that building. And I am out of breath because I was trying to go back to catch him, and he was already gone. I knew I should have asked him right there in that moment. That was Geno Smith.
So
and I'm telling you, he's going to be the next QB. I guarantee it.
Geno Smith leaving this medical building where apparently Jets players take their physicals.
I guarantee you that Jets will sign Geno Smith. You hear it here first. I promise you.
Well, he's the favorite right now based on the reporting from The Athletic and SNY. That's the Jets' target at this point.
Yeah, and after what I just saw, I could definitely confirm that it's basically a done deal.
So
there's
Geno
no way
Smith
he just is some random.
Now, let me ask you this, though, Airjet. Why wouldn't Geno Smith take his physical at the Jet facility? They don't have their medical team there? All right. Airjet, your internet is almost as bad as Geno Smith's time playing quarterback for the Jets the first go-around. Thank you for that one. You could be right. I mean, he feels like the favorite right now, so I don't know how breaking news it is. But if we believe Airjet that he did see Geno Smith, it would make sense that he's going to obviously visit with the Jets. Gabe the Plane says Geno is not as bad as people are making him out to be. He played great for the Hawks and went to no O-line in Vegas. People want Winston, but they're the same. I mean, he did throw 32 picks combined the last 2 years, Gabe. What if he just lost it? He's an older quarterback. He can't move very well. Again, he's not going to cost the Jets anything. There'll be no dead cap ramifications of signing Geno. He's a bridge for a year. We all understand in all likelihood. The Jet long-term answer at the quarterback spot is playing college football in 2026, and we got to wait till 27. But it's going to be tough for us to be excited about Geno. It just is. Hollywood Rio in the Asmaniac raffle for 2. Malik Willis, thorn in our sides. Will our newly developing defense withstand? I mean, do we know Malik Willis is good? He started 6 career games. He started 1 game last year. He's got an upside, but I can't freak out about this just yet. The Jet defense couldn't stop anyone. They couldn't stop Mitch Trubisky last year. They couldn't stop any player. So I can't worry about any quarterback. I got to worry about the Jets just improving on their own end. Common Country says, who do you trust more, Airjet or AG? Trust me, bro. Trust me.
Just don't let go of the rope.
Don't let go, man. All right, we got a couple of heavy hitters on the line. Let's say hello to, first up, Mr. 13 Points, and then Paul Faz. Let's go.
Get ready for Neil. He will make 13 points about the New York Jets and maybe hump a Patriots jersey. Get ready for Neil. He's probably smoking a big fat cigar and burning his house to the ground. That's Neil.
Jake, let's get a quarterback, please. I can't take it anymore. I hate this team. Oh, boy. What's happening, Jake?
Neil, how are you? Are you excited for a little Geno Smith potentially?
Oh, yeah. I'm real excited about that. Well, I mentioned this to you the other day. Look, I like Bart Scott. I like Bart Scott. You like Bart Scott. I think he's one of the most knowledgeable guys that talks about the Jets and makes good suggestions. I wouldn't even mind if he was our DC because the guy knows defense and he knows the game probably better than anybody on these different ESPN shows. Would you agree?
I think Bart is very good when he's talking about the Jets and the NFL, for sure.
So he had a big show with Carlin yesterday, and he is advocating for Mac Jones. And he said that we should go get Mac Jones, regardless of the draft pick. He has a $3 million contract this year, so we can get him on the cheap. And if we give up a 44th pick or even a 33rd pick, we don't know that either of those 2 picks as a Jet is going to be a stellar star. And he feels that if Mac Jones has the best potential to be a Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield type quarterback, because again, he's his 5th year in the league. He's gotten better every single year. He understands the game. He's relatively accurate. He's big and he could throw the ball. And he did take the Patriots to the playoffs. And he feels that if he ends up being somebody we really want going into 27, it's going to give us a lot. This is not me speaking. This is Bart.
I told you, I disagree with Bart. I would not trade a 2nd-round pick for Mac Jones.
I know, but I want to enter this into the chat as my feeling that this would be a lot into what we could do in 27 with those 3 first-rounders, because a lot of teams would want to jump up and get a quarterback so we could parlay those 3 picks next year into maybe 5 or 6 picks. So I think it's a great idea. Matt Jones would excite me. He wouldn't excite you, Jake? I know you don't. What do
It
you
wouldn't
think?
excite me. I don't think Mac Jones is anything other than a product of the Kyle Shanahan experience. I think he's Jimmy Garoppolo. What was Jimmy G when he left Shanahan?
Well, you could look at it that way, but you could also look at it like he's made some steps forward, and that maybe Frank Reich and our quarterback coach could give him a little more of a step up, and maybe he's maturing. I'm of the belief that these quarterbacks, Jake, they're not ready to play and they're not ready to win until they're in the league 4 or 5 years. And it's showing right now with Daniel Jones. It's showing with Sam. It's showing with Baker Mayfield. There's a lot of examples.
Sam had way more talent than Mac Jones. Like Sam flashed a lot more than Mac did. Mac the year he went to the playoffs in New England was a game manager.
Right. That again, that's was his rookie year. Okay.
Yeah,
So
and it got worse after that. They made Matt Patricia the OC. It was a mess. He wasn't good in Jacksonville when he played. I don't hate the premise of acquiring Mac Jones. Where you and I differ and where I disagree with Bart and Carlin, I'm not trading pick 33 or pick 44 for a year of Mac Jones. I'm just not doing it.
well, like I said, the benefit is the $3 million contract, Jake. That's a big benefit. We don't
Right. But the benefit of pick 33 or pick 44 is a guy making that level of money on a 4-year contract.
What's that? I'm sorry, I missed you a second.
The benefit of using pick 33 or pick 44 on a player is that you get that guy for 4 years on a cheap contract. Second round picks don't make a lot of money.
Yeah, but if we need a quarterback, Jake, we're not going to get a better quarterback than Mac Jones at 33 or 44. We need a quarterback.
Unless you think Ty Simpson can be the guy.
Ty Simpson is not going to start for us game 1. He's going to sit on the bench with a clipboard. I mean,
Right.
he's not going to produce. I said I'd rather take this guy, the big quarterback out of Arkansas, and use him as a weapon in the 3rd or 4th round, or take Nussmeier or take a shot on somebody else who's got just as much of a potential as being a franchise guy than Ty Simpson, because we don't know what these guys are. I know what Mac Jones is. I know he could.
Do we know what Mac Jones is really? I think Mac Jones has been a bad quarterback until last year, playing in an elite offensive environment, played well.
Okay, well, he'll have he could have an elite quarterback coach with Frank Reich and our other guy. What's his name again?
An elite is exactly. You don't even know his name. An elite is a stretch. He's been seasoned. He's been around. I don't know if we could sit here and say that Bill Musgrave and Frank Reich are elite offensive coaches.
Okay, but again, that's my number 1 guy. I'm okay with Jacoby Brissett, but again, that's the only 2.
I'd rather Jacoby Brissett for a 4th than Mac Jones for a 2nd.
What are we going to have to pay Brissett?
Brissett's under contract for another year, and he's making under $10 million, I believe.
All right. I look, I'm okay with Brissett, and again, I think that I'd be real excited if they got creative to take a different quarterback rather than the crappy list we have, including Geno.
Well, they're going to add 2, so I think they could sign 2. They could trade for 1, sign the other. They could trade for Andy Dalton, who's now expendable in Carolina, as like one of the vets they add with Geno or something along those lines.
And again, I'm very excited about the fact that we got some experience up the middle. Again with DeMario and Fitzpatrick. That's a smart move, something we haven't done in years, because I always bitch and moan that we never get veterans on this team, and we've got 2 now that probably are smarter than Aaron Glenn and could at least change the plays that he calls in there, and maybe recognize the offense that's coming at us and make adjustments instead of what we've been seeing the last couple of years. So I'm excited about that. As far as free agent receivers, what's your thought on that, Jake? What are you seeing on the free agent market left in receivers that we could grab?
Romeo Dobbs, maybe the name to watch. I think they're going to – it sounds like they're in on Brian Thomas Jr. as a trade candidate.
I love Romeo Dobbs. He's going to cost a lot of money, Jake, isn't he?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Yes, relative to like probably what he's worth because it's free agency. But if not him, there's not many guys left. I think Jawan Jennings is still out there. Rashid Shaheed signed already. I guess Christian Kirk. There's not much at the Tyquan Thornton went back to the Chiefs. There's not much. I think they're. I don't.
Who's
think
the
they're gonna
second
sign a
Colts
receiver.
guy? Who's the second Colts guy that was not Pierce, the other guy?
Pittman. He got traded to the Steelers already, and they signed him to a deal. So there goes.
What are they paying Pittman? What are they paying him? Just to give an idea of the cost.
Well, he signed a 3-year deal, and the contract he signed was for 3 years and $59 million.
My God, these receivers make a lot of money. Like Kyle said, the receiver is a real expensive proposition. We're
That's why they
probably
should draft one or
right.
sign Brian Thomas Jr., who'd be cost control for 3 more years on his rookie deal.
Yeah, I think they're probably eyeing up a receiver, and the receiver depth in the draft is probably the third or fourth best position in the draft depth wise, right, Jake?
Yeah. The receiving depth in the draft is very, very strong in the second and third round. And the Jets could be in range to take one at 16 for all we know.
How about yeah, well, I think we're talking about taking one at third, first pick in the second round. Day 2 is where you get some good receivers as well. That's where you could really grab somebody that may make a good impression, right?
Unless you're the Jets, who are horrific at drafting receivers on day 2.
Well, like I said, I don't want to waste 16 unless this guy Lemon. You really like this guy Lemon at 16, right?
I
Jay?
do. I would take Mekhi Lemon if he made it 16.
And you think he's a solid number 1 that's as good? Well, as you think he'd be as good as a Dobbs or any of these other guys we can get for 20 million?
I think he'd be better than those guys.
Really?
Yeah, I think his comparison is Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Oh, one other thing I wanted to ask. What about the Marvin Harrison Jr., the Cardinals guy? Is he still on the team, or
He's still on the team? I have not heard that he's available. I
thought that he was available. I heard something that he might be available.
There was speculation, but it wasn't ever substantiated by anyone credible. Brian Thomas Jr. is available. That's been reported enough by credible people that where it's clear they're listening on offers for him. They might not move him, but they're listening.
Okay. So, look, it was a much better day 1 yesterday than we've seen in several years, right, Jake? I mean, we got 4 players. How many you got? 4 players or 5?
The Jets yesterday added 4 players, 1 via trade, and then, or I guess 5 because you got to count Belton as well. They added Minka, Osai, Inagabari, Onyemata, Davis, and Belton.
Right. So I think with that in mind, but we're probably going to take the we're going to probably go with the edge guy at second, the Ohio State kid. We're probably going to take him and move him around the defensive line. And then I think by what we're doing on defense, we're probably going to go wide receiver, corner. We haven't really discussed corner. I mean, is the Seattle corner signed yet? What's his name? He's a free agent.
Yeah, he's still a free agent. I'd be a little surprised if they spent anything notable on a corner. Like, I think it'd be a depth signing. The position group to watch today is offensive tackle or offensive guard / center, interior lineman.
Okay. I'm upset. I like AVT. I think he's a big risk as far as his health is concerned. I'm not really sad losing Simpson because I watched him a lot this year. I kind of like when I watch games, Jake, I isolate positions. And I saw Simpson whiff on a lot of one-on-ones up the middle. He really wasn't a huge run producer. I think he really didn't play up to his potential. I think 2 years ago he was much better, and I don't think he played as well last year. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, he led the NFL in penalties. He was not as good last year.
There you go. I don't want guys with penalties. Let's get somebody. And Simpson signed a big deal. What did he sign for?
Simpson signed for $10 million a year to go back to the Ravens.
Holy shit.
Yeah, again, but they have to replace these guys. You can't just go into the draft and say, well, we'll just draft someone at 16. That's not how you build a team.
You wouldn't say draft an best offensive interior guy at 16. You're not going to get a top guy there if we went that direction?
I don't think there's good value in taking a guard at 16.
Right. Okay. So we're going to go guard and free agency. That's what we're looking for next. We're looking for a solid number 2 if we don't draft one. We
Need a
still
receiver, corner depth. That's kind of where they're at.
we need some corner depth, and everything else is shaping up. So I'm really happy with Muji so far. I think it's going in the right direction, and I may put my bet in at 25,000 to 1.
You're out of your mind. I love it.
Are we still 25,000 to 1 to win the Super Bowl? That is the most amazing stat. I don't think we've ever, and I said to you, I bet every single year in case we ever do win a Super Bowl or get to a Super Bowl, so I have money to take my family. I've never seen 25,000 to 1. That is ridiculous. And I got to tell you, even $100, anybody that doesn't throw $100, we should all put a big pool together on the show and throw a little money into that. And we have something that we could talk about later in the year if that ever happens. And, we have a chance to win. We could win $1 million if we all put in, $25, and we have something to talk about.
These goddamn exploding cigars. Gotta go, Jake. I'll call back later. Shit.
Neil can't even say it with a straight face, but it's a perfect segue. I'm presented by FanDuel, and one of the things we do on the show is we show you some odds from FanDuel on different things you can wager on. So in honor of Neil bringing it up, here are the latest Super Bowl odds. And yes, the New York Jets have the lowest odds on the board, all the way down, tied with the Arizona Cardinals at 25,000 plus 25,000, meaning if you bet $100 on the Jets to win the Super Bowl, you could win 25K. So if you want to do what Neil apparently is going to do, you could throw some of your hard-earned cash over at FanDuel on the Jets to win the Super Bowl. I was going to show you guys the odds for the WBC because I've been locked into that. Nice win by the U.S. last night over Mexico. Aaron Judge, best player in the world, setting the tone. Plus 100. The U.S. the favorites right now to win the WBC. If they beat Italy tonight, they will clinch an undefeated record in pool play and advance, of course, to the knockout rounds. So there's your latest odds, courtesy of FanDuel. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Home stretch of the show. Make sure you enter the raffle. If you haven't, let me in with a super chat here. Let me in writes, what up, Jake? Why haven't we signed Romeo Dobbs yet? What are we doing? Well, he hasn't signed with anyone yet. I'm fascinated by what his market is. I'd be in on him, but I think the Jets, based on their actions yesterday in free agency, I think the Jets are going to sign 2 veteran quarterbacks. They'll add an interior offensive lineman. They might add some corner depth, but then I think the draft, outside of taking Arvell Reese or David Bailey, I lean with Reese right now, still being the pick at 2. I think at pick 16, well, they're going to look for offensive firepower. That could be Sadiq, the tight end, included with the other receivers. That could be the Penn State guard. They also have the pick at 33. That could be Ty Simpson, or it could be a receiver, Omar Cooper Jr. I suppose safety could be in play in the draft. I don't know if they do it at 33, maybe 44. That player could be in play, but I see an offensive draft for the Jets. I think defense at 2, and the next 3 picks potentially are offensive players. That's kind of how I picture it as we sit here on March 10th. Obviously, trades happen. They trade for Brian Thomas Jr. They probably aren't taking a receiver at 16, so that changes the calculation. But things change, as we know, but that's kind of where I see it right now. Home stretch of your calls. First, a polling update. Asmaniac Madness underway. T leading Josh 68-32 in the 4 versus 13 battle. This afternoon on the program, Peter Castro in action against Craig from Australia. So be locked in this afternoon when Joe Blewett is scheduled to join us. Paul is up next on our show. What's up, Paul?
What's up, bro?
How are you, Paul?
Just annoyed. The whole AVT thing, but just for principle, right? If you noticed, every one of our free agents, what are they doing? They're running to the hills. And we, as an organization, did this, right? And the people we're picking up are all the same reason. We're a bad organization and nobody wants to come here. We don't have options. We're going to get what we get, and that's what we're going to get until they turn this organization around and we become respectable again. People don't want to come here. It's the problem. At the end of the day, it's the problem. And it's just frustrating. You know it, but you're seeing it. I mean, do you honestly think Breece Hall would stay here if he had an option? If we didn't tag him, he'd have been gone too, right? I mean, no one would re-sign here. So I'm just I'm frustrated over it, especially because he went to New England, right? But we got to just hope that we could, change the persona on this team. Like, we have to hope that we could start getting respectable again. And I just think it's a telltale sign the way, look at, a lot of the players we were picking up, 6, 7 round picks. There were more trades than anything. Like, I don't think any free agents are going to come here. That's all I got. I'm gonna get some memberships once we log off, but I think that Renzel was contagious. So I got to bounce. Talk soon, brother. Thanks,
ladies and gentlemen. Paul. Look, they got to win. You want players to be bought in and stay here? They got to win games. Again, Glenn can preach culture and everything he preached last year. Then they started 0-7, and naturally, guys do check out. What do you think's going to happen? You're telling guys to buy in. You're doing things different. Remember, every player talked about how, we're having a real tough training camp and accountability. We've never seen it more. And then they started 0-7. Guys check out. Guys do the soft quit. You got to win. If you're going to preach all these things, then you have to see results. It's human nature. Hard to stay locked in when you're not winning. That's the bottom line. More of your calls right now, ladies and gentlemen.
We're on our way right now to a Polish store. Yep, what's going on here? All right, there's the bus. I already got my bus pass paid for, taken care of. I'm on my way to shopping center to go get some sausage, some taters, some rye bread. Get ready for a good day's work. All right, let's go. Come on, bring your big fat ass down here.
What are you doing for work? I thought you were unemployed.
Hey, does walls talk? No. All right, here's our bus. Let's get out of here. All right, here we go. There she goes. Here we are at signal 1, 2, 3. Good morning. Good morning, ma'am. How are you doing? Hold on. We're going to take good care of you. Give me a second here. Right. Here we go. There, signed in service. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah. There we go. Yeah, we're just under the bus right now. We're right now going from here to Archer and Cicero, and then take the 62 all the way down and get off at Archer and Lindo and get ready to go do some Polish shopping. Man, it's kind of European stuff. But let me tell you boys something. If we lose AVT, that's fine. We can always go out and get talent. That means, and listen when I say this, spend the money wisely. Because if you don't spend the money wisely, you're going to fall on your face and you're never going to get back up. That's a guarantee. Now listen, and I'm going to say this one more time. Spend the money wisely. Because if you don't, you're going to fall right on your face and you're not going to get able to get back up again. Okay? That's one thing I'm going to say. And to Glenn, you better make this your last. Because if you don't pull your weight and you don't start producing, then your ass is out of New York City and you're out of New York. Because, I don't want to see it go, but we have to put our foot down and start saying, you better do your job and you better listen now. Because we're not playing your games this year. 0-7 was a bad beginning. Sure, 3-14. Okay, that's fine. But now, there's two things you need to do. You either put up or you shut up. Playtime's over.
Ted wrote in, the life of living off the system, and I work 3 jobs.
I don't care about that right now. I'm going to say this one more time. It's either you put up or you shut up. It's playtime's over. Time to get serious, Glenn. That means you need to get your head out of your ass and stop sleeping on the job. That means no more sleeping at the desk when you're going.
Any Jet fans on your bus? No.
And listen, Glenn, if I see you doing this, going, wake up, Glenn. That means you're not qualified for this job. I'm only telling you this because we care about you. You were a great Jet once, but listen wisely and listen to me clear. Don't you F up. Because if you do, my 5 stallions are going to be ready and we'll be ready to go. Don't think we know how to spend the money. Oh, we will. We will. Woody's got the money, and we all know that because why? He's 80 years old. Sure, he's going to need 10 hearing aids, but in life, my 5 stallions can hang this job because why? We're going to cut through the red tape. We're going to cut through the BS.
Let's go Jets! Let's go Jets! Let's go Jets!
Thank you very much, Beast. I will pass that along to the powers that be at One Jet Stride. Paul Faz, you had a great call before. Just gifted 5 memberships for the community. Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Let's go. Let's go.
All right. If you hear your name, you're a member. Jesse, American Cantier, Key Kinetic, Steve Abunakura, and a Fungus Mungus, all receiving a channel membership. Got a couple more calls to get to, and then we're done with our first stream. We'll be back this afternoon. Dino's next. Hey, Dino.
Hey, how are you, Jake? How's everything?
What's up, Dino?
This is second call now. We're starting a little trend.
Let's go, Dino. Keep it rolling.
Let's go. All right. Let's talk the quarterback position. I want to run through a little exercise with you, Jake. Name me a quarterback, and I'll give you the amount of wins, and then we'll say go or no go. How does that sound?
Okay. Geno Smith.
6 wins. Next year, the following year, 8 wins.
Well, these guys are all probably 1-year starters, are they not? So what do I don't care about 27. They're going to draft the quarterback.
All right. Perfect. You just made my point. All right, Geno, 6 wins.
Okay. Kirk Cousins.
7.
Jacoby Brissett.
7.
Carson Wentz.
2.
2. Damn. Okay. Derek Carr.
8.
Tanner McKee.
Gave him +1. Oh, I like that one. That's a good one. 5.
Will Levis.
3.
I don't know. That's
all right,
about all the mid options I could throw at you right now.
Yeah. No. That's perfect. That's perfect. So I think my opinion is the most promising is where are we going to be in 27 with our draft pick?
So you want Wentz because he'll win 2 games and
yeah,
picking at the top.
The McKee, the Philadelphia kid. What is it, McKee? Right?
Yeah.
That one, you threw curveball there. I wasn't expecting that. I do like that. That's someone that I could feel like might have that promise.
What about Mac Jones?
I think he's a guy that can always get us middle of the road. Listen, I want a Super Bowl. I don't want, be middle of the road, wild card, first round of the playoffs. I know as a Jet fan, that'd be great. But I want the big picture. I want the 5-year, 6-year plan where we know we got a legit shot at a Super Bowl. That's what I want. I want that hope, that promise. These guys don't deliver that. Again, McKee may be someone that you throw in next year and you see some promise and you see something that can develop and you start building around them. So there, I like I said, I wasn't expecting that to come out, but if that's a viable option, I want a young kid that I can maybe groom and develop and become something. Other than that, we know what these guys are. They're on the back end of their career.
Dino, here's the problem with your logic. Logically, if you could just press a button and we could sim to a year from now, Glenn's fired, Jets have a new coaching staff with the top pick in the draft, and they could get the Clint Kubiak of the coaching cycle next year, like what the Raiders just did. Awesome. But it's not how the NFL works. These guys are trying to save their jobs. They're trying to show improvement. And there's multiple ways to build your team. Denver never bottomed out, and they were in the AFC Championship game this past year and would have won if Bo Nix wasn't injured the previous week. Like, you got to build your team, and then you could add the quarterback to it. Look at the Seattle Seahawks. They built their team and then added the quarterback to it. Then there's also teams that are awful like New England was, and then they got the right coach with Drake May, who they drafted the year before Vrabel got there. Like, there's so many different examples of it. That where the Jets are at, Glenn trying to save his job, they're not just going to throw away a year because Muji's not guaranteed to be here a year from now necessarily? How do we know if the Jets don't go 3-14 and the draft class is not as good and some of these free agent signings we are cautiously optimistic about don't work out? Then what? Like Muji might not be here. We don't know. So they got to try and win games.
So the only thing I say then it's a must. I think it's a must to put ourselves in a position to draft Simpson. Take that 33rd pick and move back into the first, so we have that 5th-year option, and we have to draft him. I think that's a must if we want that. If we're going to go with a Geno or a Cousins, or I don't know if a Carr is going to want to develop a young kid behind him, but I think Geno, Cousins are those candidates to kind of develop and mentor a young kid. Other than that, then yeah, we are punting to 27, and I don't want the 8th pick or the 12th pick give up draft capital to put ourselves in a 1, 2, or 3 spot. Like I want to save those picks because again, 27 is supposed to be loaded with talent at all positions across the board. I want to build that team, and I think you build it with young, hungry players. We got Demario Davis, great player, great locker room guy. Back end of his career, I was happy. I think he's going to be a good leader, a great locker room guy. Fitzpatrick, Minka, great move. Again, older, still he's gonna steady and calm the waters because I think the locker room is toxic. So those guys will bring and shake the locker room up a little bit. And I think those are the pieces added for this year was to kind of reinstill a little bit of that.
That's what they're trying to do, but there's still, it comes down to this. They still got to win enough games to this
Win
coaching
games.
staff to be here. Otherwise, they're going to start over next year with a new quarterback. That's where this is headed. If they don't win at least probably 7 to be safe, but 6 is borderline. It's going to depend on how they start as well. Not all 6 or 7 win seasons are the same. I've talked about this a lot. It's how you get to the 7. The Jets in 2022, their win total was 6.5. They won 7 games. Oh, they overachieved. No, they didn't. The expectations changed when you were 6-3 and 7-4, and then you collapsed and finished 7-10. Adam Gase started 1-7. The season was cooked, but then they finished 7-9. Did we feel great about that team? Like, you know what I mean? There's different levels to getting to your record.
Yeah. So would you sign for this? I think you get Geno Smith, you draft Ty Simpson, Geno runs the first 10, 11 games of the season. Ty Simpson takes the back half of the season.
Yes, but I wouldn't take Ty in the first round. I would only draft him at 33, unless it cost me very little to move back into the end of the first.
Yeah, I think you could put yourself in a position to get in. So yeah, I think you have to move back into the first, into those mid-20s, because you want that 5th-year option on the quarterback.
Yeah, but you also, could worry about that down the line if the guy's actually good. Like, I don't want to trade too much just to get the 5th-year option if I think I can get him at 33.
I hear you. I guess you could look at it both ways.
Got to be careful though. You don't want to lose the player, so I get that. But look, I agree with some of what you're saying, but we can't just press a button and sim to having the top pick a year from now. They're going to try and win games.
All right.
Good call, Dino. I appreciate you.
You got it. Have a good one.
All right. Got 2 calls left. The champ will be today's closer, but right now we hear from a man who's too cool.
Adam is cool, although kind of basic. He claims he's too cool, though often quite basic. He makes great jet points, looks a little basic. Adam is cool, too cool, but basic. Some would say generic.
Hey Jake, how's it going?
Hello, Adam.
Any more breaking Jets news about a guy that saw a guy that told me about a guy that might be with the Jets?
Between that and his internet crapping out, it was one of the more perfect calls you'll get during free agency week.
I hope you know what I hope he's right in a way where we'd be like, cool, we've got a real insider now, real sneaky. But maybe he's right. Who knows? I just don't want us to be enamored with mediocrity. I think that if we settle for mediocrity, that's going to be our ceiling. So when we look at these players, like I've noticed, like we have not like gone out and had a bomb deal for a player. as far as I'm concerned. Even maybe Minka, maybe if you call it that, but Minka's production's been very good. So I didn't see Muji overspending compared to some of the other teams. And like, congratulations, other teams. You said the biggest number, you win. Like, that doesn't mean anything until it's on the field. And, we still have some cap to spend. And I'm looking forward to seeing how we address the O-line because, I think now we really have to think about it. Is that the area of big focus in your mind in terms of if you were Muji, number one priority now is the O-line in free agency?
Yeah, or receiver, but I think they're going to use the draft or the trade market for that. They got to sign a legitimate starting level guard / center.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I also think I don't think we have fully evaluated AD Mitchell either. Like AD Mitchell could be really, really good with the right environment. So, worst case scenario, wouldn't he be like wide receiver 3? Like no matter what we do in free agency or the draft, wouldn't AD Mitchell be wide receiver 3?
Yeah, I mean, unless they signed Dobbs and then drafted a player at 16, I think AD Mitchell is going to end up being their 3. They either trade for Brian Thomas or they draft a receiver early. They're going to draft another receiver at some point, but that doesn't mean that guy would overtake AD Mitchell right away. We'll see. AD's going to get an opportunity to earn a spot.
Yeah, absolutely. He played well considering he joined a new team, learning a offensive system that wasn't that great. I don't know if we've really seen the maximization of him just yet. So I'm a little bullish on him because I think we're undervaluing him in terms of the talent and just what he was able to show with the limited resources he had last year with us. So that's pretty cool. I guess in terms of the second pick is such a mystery. I actually think this is you can go in so many directions and be justified. So it's kind of good to be in the spot where you have choices. And I guess if you do go for the mix of talent potential, I guess you go with Reese. I get it. I'm a little bit more production over potential, but if they have, this is the key, right? Does Glenn really have a plan for Reese if we go with Reese? What does that look like?
Carl Dunbar might though.
Dunbar might. And it'd be interesting to see what Duker has. I mean, we haven't heard much about Duker, but I remember we didn't hear much about Muji, and then Muji's been over delivering so far. So, good on him. I'm actually curious. I know it's not the end of free agency, but I am curious how this affects the comp picks because I think a lot of the folks that left got pretty big deals, all things considered. So I wonder if we're going to get some compensatory picks again for it. Just another feather in the cap if that's the case, because we got surprised with 4th rounders this year with some of the moves that were happening, right?
Yeah, look, the 4th they got is nice. It really is. Having 2 4s, that's not nothing. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here though and count on much comp picks coming back because they've spent a lot of money.
Yeah, well, yeah, I suppose. I feel like other teams have spent more though. I think it's all relative, but the people leaving.
Also, do we really care about comp picks right now? I'm not worried about that. They have 3 first rounders in 2027. That's all that matters.
Yeah, but I'm saying these are not regrettable departures. So that's also part of the math. I think people are really shocked ABT got that kind of contract. And
but all it takes is one team to bet on his upside and that he'll stay healthy.
Yeah, usually we're that team. So it's nice to not see that for a change.
Yeah, but now the sinking feeling that we have as Jet fans is he's going to go, good call, Adam. He's going to go to New England. He's never going to miss another game. He's going to turn into Alan Faneca. Let's hope not. All right, last chance to get in the raffle. Last chance to vote as well. We're going to close the voting for David T. and Josh shortly here. Today on the show, we're raffling away a signed Wayne Corbett jersey, and when you enter for that, you also are automatically entered in the Namath helmet, Klecko helmet, Garrett helmet, all signed and authenticated by each of those Jet greats. Ladies and gentlemen, on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline, to close us out today is the defending Asmaniac Madness champ.
The only thing worse than the New York Jets is cheap-ass shoes and head coach blues. At least we got Muji and some first-round picks. Jake, my brother, I'm trying to get hype. But this team sucks, and Joe Bones, he needs me to sell new flippers to this fat dumpster fire.
Jake, my brother.
Mr. Bonesy.
When you play my intro, I'm just in the back, I'm hyped up, gets me rolling, gets me pumping. Some of the greatest intros for people just make me laugh. Because then they gotta come on right after their intro. I'll leave it at that. I won't dive too deep, but I couldn't sleep last night, man. You know, I gotta know what we're doing. Air Jet came on here and just kind of ruined everything for me. I need some type of hope to hold on to, and
Gino's not doing it for you.
I'm just not ready to talk myself into Gino, man. You know, look,
Gene.
This is the best thing I'll say. This is the best thing that my crazy fucking jet sick delusional mind can think about is if we erase the Raiders season on Gino's, his resume, we could really then start to say, would we have taken him from Seattle? I feel like all of us would have been more like, yes. But last year, the Raiders were a mess. You know, Ashton Genty, is he a good player? I think he is a good player, but he couldn't get it going. Like, I had him in fantasy, and it was like, dude, man, I believe the hype. I was like, oh, Gino, Ashton Genty. Yeah, man, we got Jacoby Myers out there. They got, what's his name? Brock Bowers. Somebody say Brock Bowers. Like, they had some talent. So that's the only thing I can take my mind to is just maybe if you erase last year, Pete Carroll had his son way too involved. Like
Chip Kelly was a disaster. Their line sucked. Again, we're trying to talk ourselves into Gino, though. Let's be honest. Like they're winning 6 or 7 games, best case scenario. I'm likely going to be less.
And that's exactly why if you gave me any type of Kirk Cousins or Derek Carr hope, I could at least believe, because these are guys that have gotten paid to be the guy. They've been considered franchise quarterbacks before. Like, they've had injuries. Like, Kirk Cousins had his bad year coming off his Achilles, and he looked pretty good last year. I mean, I still want to hold on to faith that since none of these guys have signed, we still have a shot. But if we're going into a season with Gino and Wentz, it's just like, do we really think that Frank Reich has that much magic? Like that he's going to be able to really get these guys humming? Because
he's collecting a paycheck. There's no magic. He's getting paid well to be an OC before he hangs it up.
No, remember Aaron Glenn told us that he's the head coach of the offense.
Right. And the last Jet coach to refer to his coordinator as that was Adam Gase, who said Greg Williams was the head coach of the defense.
Hey, Greg Williams. Let's just
that first year he was great. If Frank Reich could give us that kind of year on offense, all right.
Greg Williams netted us 2 firsts and a third for Jamal Adams. I mean,
yes, he did.
But I just I've had a lot of momentum and excitement and false hope the last week and a half waiting for free agency, and if we're going to settle with Gino and Wentz or Gino and Dalton or whatever combo you want to go. Oh yeah, man. This is just, yeah, that's all I got, man. I can't wait no more though. I gotta know. I don't want to wait till tomorrow. I wish we could just know now. I can't.
We could get some news. It could break today.
Are you gonna go live, Joe Bonesy?
I'll be live if there's that level of signing. Yes, and then I'll be live this afternoon. We'll recap whatever happens today.
Yeah, I need Blewett to pick me up with some film reviews. Get me back on the wagon.
We'll
hurting.
fire you up, all right? We'll get you going.
All right.
He won't be asleep at the wheel.
So Daniel Jeremiah's top 50 prospects as Aaron Glenn looks on for the Jets.
Christ, superpowers sleeping. Aaron, wake up!
Fernando Mendoza 1. Jeremiah Love, who we'll also see on Saturday here on NFL Network.
Good call by the champ. All right, ladies and gentlemen, who's advancing to the round of 32? Voting is officially closed. Congratulations are in order to the David T, who has defeated Josh by a final score of 68-32. 580 votes were cast. Congrats to David T on the illustrious honor. This afternoon, Peter Castro, Craig from Australia doing battle. The winner will advance to the round of 32. Here's your look at the bracket schedule. All right. We got Ricky and Jets Johnny tomorrow morning. We got Lane and Jams in the afternoon. Thursday AM, Chef Kev and the Hamburger. Thursday late, Neil and Southern Jet. Things are happening. Here's your look at the bracket. It hasn't been updated yet. Gators headed to Vegas for a couple of days, so we might not have a full graphic update here, but you guys could see it'll be Clifton versus Rob, the Jet fan, in the round of 32. And then we'll have the winner of this afternoon's Peter and Craig from Australia battle facing David T in the round of 32. All right, fun show. Please subscribe if you haven't. We're gaining a ton of subscribers, which is awesome. Love this fan base. If you're one of the people who hasn't hit the subscribe button yet, it's free, costs nothing, and helps the channel continue to grow. I will talk to you guys this afternoon or a lot sooner than that if there's major Jet breaking news. So be checking the channel for updates. As always, let's go Jets. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you this afternoon right here on the Jake Asman Show.
Marcelino McCrary Dill.
All right. Me? Just hanging around.
Face the other direction.
So you see my ass?
Exactly.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Huh?
You guys win.
Alex says Charles was better. I forgot we got Gorman to do that too.
Gorman didn't use his legs.
Oh.
I'm reading the comments. They're all positive.
Fucking diarrhea, cha-cha-cha.
Oh, hi. Jake wants me to ask you to click on the like button.
That's right, Lane. And if they don't subscribe to the Jake Asman Show, this team may never win another game. Let's go Jets.